Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Shirley Dorr.
And Barack Obama. It's your audio besties here, and this is Not That Podcast.
Not That Podcast. Every Tuesday, we're sharing personal stories and giving advice
On mental health, pleasure, relationships, entrepreneurship, and pretty much whatever the hell we want.
Need advice? DM us on Instagram at This Is Not That Pod.
And be sure to follow us and subscribe to stay in the know. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review.
Please.
Go, give me one margarita, I'ma
open my legs. Give me two margaritas, I'ma give you some head. Give me 3 margaritas, I'ma put it in my puss. Give me 4 margaritas, I'ma put it in my... Give me...
5 margaritas, I'ma have some. Give me...
I'ma
put it in my... Little Kimmy.
Welcome.
Whoa.
Welcome to another episode of This Is Not That Podcast. I'm your host, Barack Obama, aka Sue Obama, Uncle Baskin Deuce.
It's your girl, Shirley Dorr.
Wow.
_T. And this is not the podcast that you thought it was.
It's not, as you can see. Okay?
Big facts.
You give us some margaritas.
I'm gonna put it in my tush.
Hey. That song, guys, listen to the actual song, because like the little sound clip sounds lit, but then the beat drop and it makes you want to throw it in a circle. Okay? A circle. Not a trapezoid. Okay? Not a triangle. Not a hexagon. A whole circle.
Yeah.
Okay?
You gotta listen to the full remix. You'll love it.
Oh, the Saucy Santana one is A1.
A1.
Okay? I like that one better than the sexy red one. I don't know. It's just something about Santana.
He be sliding in on a beat.
Be like, oh, my man.
My man. Thank you to my man. Drop the beat.
And my man.
Thank you to my man. For those who don't have a man and you don't need to thank your man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank yourself. You is the man. You the baby. The grandma is the baby.
The grandmama the baby.
The grandmama the baby.
You can still say my man. And when somebody asks you, just be like, the Lord is my man.
The Lord God Savior.
Okay?
Is my man. And
I mean, but God could be a woman though.
Oh, let's not go into that, because there are whole religions that believe that God is a woman.
I'm one of those. Okay? Because actually, nah, it could be man.
Okay. Because he's a smiter?
Yeah, like there's just a lot of
decisions,
torture,
yeah,
and a lot of
I'll be honest, God, you're looking like
overreacting.
You're looking like a sadist up there.
Yeah, punishment doesn't fit the crime. It's a little.
You're having a lot of fun up there.
Yeah, and it's not like we be gaslighting. We don't be gaslighting God.
Yeah, but then you'll have the people who say that it's the messaging. So like God sends you messages, but you ignore it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it can't all be God. It can't all be God.
So if you don't think it's God, let's talk about feeling in control of your life, so that you don't have to feel like it's always God. So I was looking at an article online, and it was talking about different ways that you can feel more in control of your life. I know that life is so unpredictable and annoying and scary and great all at the same time, but there are more people in this world who feel like life is trash than there are who think life is great. So that typically comes from people who feel like they don't have control over the narrative of their life, or they've lost control over the narrative of their life. So I felt like we should have a conversation on how you can take control of your life from whatever has it in a chokehold.
Okay.
Whatever has in a chokehold. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. This is kind of like an icebreaker, I guess, to the conversation to get you and the people going.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with if there was ever a moment in your life that you didn't feel like you had control, what was that moment in your life?
April 2020. What was it? 2020? 2020? 2021? No. Wait a minute.
That was
That was
recent.
that was recent. No, it's what year did I
move here?
2014.
I was like 2024.
I don't be remembering the year. I know it was literally like March 31st.
Okay.
April 1st.
Okay.
Because that was the last time I tried to commit suicide.
Okay, so 2014.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that you felt like you didn't have control over?
I feel like I didn't have control over anything. Like, I didn't have control over my financial situation. I didn't really have a great support system. I was in a school that I didn't have friends when I came here, and no matter how hard I tried, I felt like even though I was trying to be like a people pleaser and stuff like that, it still wasn't working out for me, and I was letting people treat me a certain way because I wanted them to like me. All those kind of things.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, it sounds like a lot of it was more related to like external stuff. Like nothing internal, like within your present in front of you, other than the finances.
Like an example.
Like it was all other people, like other things that other people brought, the chaos that other people brought into your life.
I think that's a majority of all the issues that I have. Like when I go to therapy, it's never within me. It's usually like
things out of your control.
Yeah, things out of my control.
So like, what did you do to get over?
Oof.
How did you regain control of your life?
I went to therapy. That obviously was the final straw. And so I stopped trying to be likable. I stopped trying to be somebody that I'm not. And it's funny because like people are just kind of like, they don't like me now, but I'm like, y'all didn't like me when I was fake acting like trying to get you to like me in the first place, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, so when you were like people pleasing, it kind of felt like you were doing the most to get people's attention, but also to get them to like you. But even when you were doing that, they didn't like you.
Yeah.
And now when you have boundaries, they still don't like you.
Yeah, or I'm being myself because I wasn't being myself. So I think if anybody knows me from like the first couple years of college, or not college, university in general, like that's a completely different me. I really did try to be some like likable and all that stuff because I was trying to build a community or have friends and stuff like that. Another reason why I wanted to like I wanted to join a sorority
yeah,
and all that stuff. But yeah, I went to therapy, and I kind of thought to myself, like, why am I doing all this and it's not even working? It's not even working. And it was also a shocker to me because I've been pretty popular my whole life. Not popular, but I've been well known and a lot of people like me, and I've been the class clown. So it was really different for me, especially me moving here by myself, not having anybody, and trying to build relationships, and the relationships are just like they're doing everything in their power not to, you know?
I'm hearing that you confronted your people pleasing self. Was that hard?
Yeah, because I've never had to do that before. Like, I've never had to try to get people to like me. And then when I did, for it to also not work, and for me trying to be so nice and people still like disrespecting me, people still like trying me and testing me because I've been nice, people trying to take advantage of me and stuff like that. So I didn't think I was capable of that because I would never accept that in the past.
Yeah.
So I was just like, why am I accepting this now?
Sometimes it feels like accepting something from someone just because you want to get the immediate satisfaction of them liking you is easier than accepting who you truly are in front of them. So you like conform yourself to meet their needs, and then you lose yourself in the process. But obviously you found that out, like you found a solution to that later. But in that moment, I can only imagine that you were just like, I'm gonna do this because I just really want you to care.
Yeah. So it was it was hard because I was doing it by myself. So it's like I don't really have a support system. I've never had my family to lean on or anything like that. So I just went to go find the help that I needed. At first I had like a Caucasian therapist, and that didn't work out for me. So I was literally looking for a black therapist, and I found one on UCF campus. I didn't like her either. I had to find another one. So it took me a couple tries as well, and I literally was like crying every day, kind of thing.
Yeah. That was a lot of confrontation. If you crying every day, that means you were sticking it to you. I was putting pins into each layer.
Yeah.
Down. Yeah. So to kind of like summarize what Sarat just said, she essentially did a couple of things. So the first one, you controlled your thoughts. You took those, there's like a trend on TikTok where you're like, control your intrusive thoughts. And it's not related to harming anyone or yourself. It's just related to like saying things that you would usually keep to yourself that you are now putting out into the universe. So you controlled your thoughts. You asked for help, which is going to a therapist.
Yeah.
You were selective. So you allowed yourself to be your true self and selected people who would actually care about your true self.
Yeah.
And then you drew boundaries, which is why people were upset. And you checked in with yourself. So those are actually ways that you actually come back to gain control of your life. So you guys just got a chance to be in Therapy Dupe. So we have a segment called Therapy Dupe, which is your opportunity to get therapeutic advice on This Is Not That Pod. But we ain't your therapist, so go see one.
Yeah, go see an actual therapist. And like I tell you guys all the time, therapy is not just for if you are having issues. Like me, I go to therapy, and I ain't gonna lie to you. For the most part, I'm perfect. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but I apologize that I feel like internally I'm perfect. I don't really have a lot of issues with self-care, letting people treat me a certain way, all that other stuff. I don't really have those issues. My issues always have to do with the way the things that I can't control, like other people's things. Like my therapist gives me ways to communicate, because when I try to communicate, people act like they have things in their ears. So I try to find different ways to communicate. Or like, people are making me angry, and what should I do about these people that have been pissing me off lately?
I'll replace the word perfect, because perfect implies that you have a sense of imperfection somewhere. And I would say security. You feel more secure in who you are today, and like the person you are, and the decisions that you make. Because most people, it's not perfection, because perfection is low self-esteem. Most people don't feel secure, and they don't feel like they have the psychological safety to do things the way that they would feel the most comfortable doing. So I feel like you have that psychological safety because you did the work. And you still continue to do the work. And so as you continue to grow, you continue to have that safety. Yeah. So for those who are watching, you're not perfect. You're just secure in your current state. Like your perfection, because the moment you fall off of security, you're going to be like, I'm imperfect. But what happened? I thought you learned how to be perfect. How are you imperfect now?
I guess secure would be the word. But for sure, I really want people to take therapy and not think that therapy is going to make you think the same way other people thinks. You know what I mean? Because like literally when you go to therapy, me personally, when I go to therapy and I'm talking about what's going on or how I'm feeling or whatever the case is, the therapist is helping me make the decision that I want to make, not what she wants me to make.
Right. So just to like put you guys in you guys were able to see what it was like to just like talk to someone and like balance off your thoughts and have someone actually listen to you, look at you directly, not dismiss you, undermine you, and like follow through, summarize the things that you say, and like continue to let you unpack everything that you're thinking about, right? But like, what is actually therapy? So I have a lot of people who would, a lot of people for a very long time thought that me being a comforting person and a nice person meant that I was therapizing them. And I'm like, the funny thing is, I'm typically, when I'm therapizing you, I'm actually saying nothing. So when I'm actually being a therapist to people, there are no words coming out of my mouth. They're just, I'm staring and I'm looking and I'm nodding and I say, mm-hmm. That is when you're getting therapized. If you ever see me say, you're being therapized. But if you see me giving you insight, giving you advice, telling you like, girl, I think you should, I'm not being a therapist to you.
Yeah.
I'm being a friend who also is just knowledgeable. I have a lot of knowledge on things that will help people, but I'm not being your therapist in that moment. Because one thing that makes therapy different from advice is that we don't give it. We don't give the advice. We have no space in your life to give the advice.
I say that all the time. Like, if you want advice, there's friends, there's people online, there's your family, there's your siblings.
Forums.
Like, if you are looking for advice, those are the people that you go to. I go to therapy because I need to make a decision for me. Like, I need to, and it keeps me accountable. Like, I'm accountable for every decision that I make. Like, nobody persuaded me, nobody told me to do this, and then I can't be like, when something doesn't turn out right, I can't be like, but Shirley told me to, but this person told me to, but my therapist told me to. No. If I made the decision, if I go to therapy, for the most part, she doesn't give me advice. So if I go to therapy and I talk it out with her, and she'll bring up different patterns that's come up, she'll put names to different phenomena, she'll give me different things that I can do, like for communication and stuff like that, but ultimately the decision is mine. And so I don't have anybody swaying my decisions. I make my decisions, and I can be held accountable for my own decisions. If I want advice, I'm gonna call Shirley. I'm gonna call Reggie. I'm gonna call this person. I'm gonna call that person. I'll call Chelsea. I'll call my brother. You know what I mean? But therapy is not, one, for advice. Two, it's not going to make you think like everybody else.
It's also, therapy is a place for you to be held accountable. It's not somewhere that you go and your therapist tells you what to do, and then you don't do it, and you come back to therapy blaming your therapist because you didn't do it. Your therapist gives you homework, you go home and you do the homework. And if you don't do the homework, your therapist knows that you're not ready for change. And if you do the homework, you'll follow up with the next step. And the goal, your therapist is trying to get you through a cycle. There's the first stage of the cycle. We talk about it all the time on the podcast. The first stage of the cycle is pre-contemplation. That's the people who don't go to therapy, who are like, maybe.
I told my girl I was going to come see the lady.
Maybe. That's you pre-contemplating. It's somewhere. The seed is planted, and you just need the water and sunlight to grow so that you can move to the next stage, which is action. Action doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually going to go to therapy. It just may be you making the appointment and not showing up the next day. And then we can say contemplation. That's contemplation. So contemplation is when you're thinking about it, you're doing something close enough, but you don't get there. You're just not moving to that next step. So that picking up that phone and calling the therapist, making the appointment, but not necessarily showing up. Or telling your friend, I think I want to see a therapist, is you taking the steps to contemplate. Then you move into action, which is the steps, actionable. You actually show up. You pull through, you get there, you're there for a while. And then there's two things that may or may not happen. You actually go on and you make the change into your life and you move into maintenance, or you regress like a drug addict. So that is all your therapist is trying to do. Get you through the stages, through that circle of life, so that you can find the solutions in your life. You can find say it with me. You can find the solutions to your life, guided by someone who's unbiased, right? So someone who's not your family, who's not your friend, who's not your mama, who's not your teacher, someone who the only thing they know about you is what you tell them. Unbiased, and who can lead you based on, evidence-based practices or their own psychological understanding, and then move you into your next step. So very similar to what Ciroc said, she sat down, acknowledged that there were some faults that she had in her life, tried to address them, asked for help, got the help. The help led her to being selective, drawing boundaries, checking in with herself and controlling her thoughts, and being herself.
Yep. And not every therapist is for you. And And it has nothing to do with if they don't believe with you, like, don't agree with your beliefs. For example, like, I've had a couple of terrible. Did I talk about this therapist that I had tried to get with my insurance on the podcast?
Did. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, the one that told me that I have boundary issues. So, for example, like, I know myself. I have done enough therapy to know that I do not have boundary issues. So, and first of all, why are you diagnosing me on the first 2 links? You know what I mean? Insurance.
Like, you know nothing about
insurance. That's why.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, you know nothing at this point. You know what I mean? So you also need to see what fits you. The white therapist, like, for me, it just felt really like she was like, oh, that's so sad to me, and I was just like, yeah, it is sad, but you know, I felt like I felt pitied. When I had the white therapist, I felt pitied. And so I was like, I don't think I can do a white therapist. So just, it does take some time. It's not always going to be easy. And then we also had that episode where it's hard to even find one in your insurance, a black one.
So when you're trying to build relationships, the relationship that you have with your therapist is the same as the ones that you like form with regular everyday people. You're gonna have people that you don't mesh with, and you're gonna have people that you do. I'll never forget my first like client who was just like, yeah, you ain't the one. And I give her kudos because she showed up for 11 sessions and then called my boss and was like, she's not the one. And I was totally okay with that because I wholeheartedly believe that she was delusional. And I believe she was acting on delusion. And if acting on delusion meant leaving this therapist and finding someone who supports your thoughts, by all means.
She should be delusional.
I also think that a lot of people are afraid to have therapists who look just like them, but not in color, in age. So a lot of people feel more guided by someone older than them because they feel like if you're older, you must have wisdom. But if you're younger, you know, like, you're not authority. And so for me, when she made that decision respectfully, like, okay, let's find you a new therapist because our goal is to make sure that you feel safe and secure. But one of the things that I noticed, like a reoccurring pattern, is that she always had to have a person of authority guide her in her decision making. And I'm like, you were looking for your mom. Your mom wasn't there for you, so you were looking for a mother figure, and you couldn't find that in me because I was the same age as you. So a lot of times people make decisions that align with their traumas, or they make decisions that they feel would be best for them. Either way, whatever way that we can get you to help, we're going to find you to help. But that was like the first time. Last time didn't happen after that, but the first time that I ever had someone like, you are not the therapist for me. And I was like, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
How do you feel about the social media therapist? Because, like, you just said that she always needs an authority to guide her, right? And sometimes people will just be doing something online, and then people are like, that's a trauma response. But you don't know if they don't know if it's a trauma response for real. Oh no, that's definitely a trauma response because you would have never came online and showed us this short skirt that you posted. You have self-respect issues.
Are they actual therapists, or are they just people who feel like they just talking?
Well, people that are just talking. But even if it's therapists, I don't think therapists should be on there being like, you know, making diagnoses under comments.
It's not our job to diagnose you. Therapists, listen, I left a career long behind me, but I will always be one. I think it's important to note that people are always projecting. Always projecting. Always. So when someone says, I think, they are leading with opinions. They're not leading with facts. They're not leading with nothing. It's all opinion.
They be on there talking about something. I'm a therapist, and I think that her wearing this outfit is very whatever.
I wouldn't even try to like deny or because I feel like everyone has some truth to what they're saying. You just need enough people to support your claim to say that it's true. So if you feel that way, get up and do a study. That's my response to everything. Like I did a study on why Haitian men cheat, because I was like, I talk about this all the time. Let me go ask 1,000 Haitian men at UCF why they cheated. You know, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, based on no, I'm going to conduct a study.
I would love to conduct a study.
And I'm going to find the answer. So, since you feel so wholeheartedly that opinion is fact, go perform a periodical study. Go ask 1,000 people. Find the answer. Maybe they'll say yes. That's what BuzzFeed does.
I'm about to go do a study on why these niggas are so disgusting.
I don't know how you're gonna find that. You have to find like a test to administer.
They're all online. What are you talking about?
Not the fake ones.
They've all gathered around.
You got to find an unbiased test to administer them, though.
An unbiased test.
Yes.
I feel like every time I comment something, that's an unbiased test.
I'm sick.
Every time I leave a comment under a picture,
I'm sick.
That's an unbiased test.
I'm sick.
So if somebody posts a picture and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I also went to Disney. And then there's pervs under there talking about oh, you just wanted to drink because you want to get slutted out. That's unbiased.
I feel like or not even feel, because that's not a feeling. Another thing you have to learn in therapy. Your thoughts are not feelings. They're just thoughts. Feelings are happiness, sadness, anger.
Inside out.
And those are feelings. But when you're thinking, it's a thought. Stop confusing your thoughts with your feelings. But anyways, so I know that social media has changed not changed. Social media has given you access to everybody. Mm-hmm. So before, we didn't have access to people that do things that we don't feel is normal. We would just hear about them on the news when they're abducting children or something like that, right?
On the milk carton.
Yeah, that's when we learn about them. Mm-hmm. But now they have access to the world. And so we have so much insight you have a class, you have every person with different views and opinions and environmental factors, growing up different places, white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, Muslim, Indian, Catholic, Christian, all talking to each other. Mm-hmm. And there's a plethora of them.
That girl is on her F-cat.
F-cat.
She's on her F-cat.
F-cat, plethora. A plethora of them. And now we are getting fed all of their opinions at once. And you know how human nature is. People respond to negativity more than they do positivity. And so people say negative things. Because if they're like, yes, queen, you would have never commented. But if they're like, you are...
I don't know, man. And it's funny, too, because, like, they'll comment something negative and then, you'll either curse them out or something, and then they'll be like, you're bothered about whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like, you're kind of bothered because I didn't go on your page. Mm-hmm. You're on my page. Mm-hmm. Right? And they're like, oh, this, and I'll just be like, yo, now I don't even want to do the back and forth, and I just want to block everybody.
That's kind of like with Megan, like when they were talking about how, Megan seems pretty bothered for somebody who's unbothered. And I'm like, Megan never told you that she was unbothered. And people say she look unbothered.
And why does her unbothered have to look like you're unbothered?
Right. Like when she did the performance not too long ago, and maybe 3 days ago, and she was like, and to my haters, I da 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 da, and they're like, oh, if she was unbothered, she would have addressed it, or she's an entertainer and she writes songs about haters and she's addressing it in front of a crowd of people who like her. Have you ever heard of that? As she should. She can still be unbothered.
You can respond and be unbothered.
You can still be unbothered.
Like, I be responding for engagement.
Matter of fact, what's y'all definition of unbothered? How about that? How about y'all tell us what unbothered looks like for you?
I also feel like a lot of y'all be
bothered.
Because I just be like, there's no way you go on somebody else's page to go and be negative for any reason. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, there are certain things that, you know, just happen to come up on your For You page. But I'm going to tell you, if you play your algorithm right, like I do, you can live in delusion land.
Delululand.
Okay? Because I live in delusion land. And that's why I had to delete Twitter, because
it
was messing with my
you can be
delusion.
delusional, but like, you know, if you don't like waffles and somebody likes pancakes, they're going to tell you that you're racist against waffles. Like,
That's my thing to do.
Like, please.
Yeah, but it's another thing. It's one thing if it comes up and then you disagree. It's another for you to be calling people crazy names, racial slurs, homophobic slurs, all types of disrespectful stuff, talking about people, parents, talking about them. I hope you get cheated on. I hope you.
Oh
this,
my gosh!
Like it.
Y'all
Don't
got
sense.
so. I'll never forget how upset the internet got at us for saying that we don't want to wait a year, 2 years to find out that you want to marry us. We want you to marry us tomorrow.
Marry me tomorrow.
And they're like, that's why y'all single today. What? Why are we single for wanting to be partnered with someone who wants us?
And we have everything that we require.
Right.
We are good looking. We are smart. We have our degrees. We got our own place. We got our own house. We got our own shit together. So if we can't find somebody to marry us, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
But y'all start attacking us. We didn't even say anything about nobody. We didn't say nothing about anybody else. We just said you need to come to be ready to be married, and you're like, that's why you single now. What? That's
all that
not
did
why
to
I'm
me
single
was
now.
narrow it down.
Right. You wean out in the week. You know how, like, when you're applying to colleges and they be like, you need to write one 500-word essay, another 1,000-word essay, and then all of these qualifications. Colleges literally taught us the rule book. At school taught us the rule book. But it's not a problem with institutions, but it's a problem when it's a self-preference.
Probably. Because if I say I don't want a broke man, and broke men come in the comments, thank you for eliminating yourself.
Right, because then if you ever reached out, now I know.
Yeah. For example, I asked for a Naruto eyeshadow palette all last month. It dropped on the 30th. All these men that, hey, beautiful, hey, big head, hi, whatever, that are in my requests, you will not be getting responded to. Because you can't spend a little $89. That would have been cheaper than a date. But you didn't buy me. And that is just my standard. But there are plenty of women out there that you don't got to buy shit for.
Big facts.
It's just not me.
So transitioning into us getting into the actual seat with you guys. So we're going to give you guys some dupe therapy dupe. And we dug into our dirty little secrets confessional booth. And we have a couple confessions and advice questions. Someone's asking for advice and someone else has a secret. So the first one is, I don't want to be here, life at all, but I don't have the guts to do anything. My life is boring. I'm struggling. I have a toxic family, no friends. I wish things were better, and I just smile through it all, but deep down, I'm tired. I feel like the story that you shared earlier might actually really resonate with this person. So I'm going to let you give a little therapeutic advice to this person.
Okay. One, I would definitely be very biased. I teach compa. You should come to my compa class. Everybody has been friendly with each other, so it kind of builds a community. But having a community outside of work and home is very important. I think there was somebody was saying that earlier, that when you work from home, now you're eliminating another place to get out of your head. So definitely find an interest if you have an interest, and go do that interest. Like, I like anime. We went to DreamCon. I made friends at DreamCon. Compa class. A majority of my students are not Haitian. They literally just like, I decided I wanted to learn compa. But we've become friends. They come all the time. They bring their friends. They meet friends over here. things like that. So it just depends. If that's what you need, like if you're looking for friends or you're looking to relate to other people and stuff like that, find an interest. Go on Eventbrite. If you don't like already know of a major thing that your interest has, networking events are pretty cool too. I go to networking events alone.
Mixers.
Yeah, mixers. And me personally, when I go to networking events, I know it's a little hard because sometimes like there's just a lot of people and not everybody's going to be talking to everyone. I go and I talk to somebody who came alone.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. So if you go to a network mixer by yourself, go to somebody else who also came by themselves, because they probably were thinking the same thing. Like they might be new in the town, they might like, you know, wanted something different, they were interested in this, but you know, don't really know anybody, was hoping somebody was going to come talk to them anyways. So that is something for you to build a community. And
I think when you said that you don't have the guts to do anything, I feel like that's you being stuck in this like loophole of like nothingness. And I think the only thing that will probably help you with the I don't have the guts to do anything is knowing that there's only one person who can solve your issues. And that's you. Like, you're solely responsible for everything else that happens in your life. Your family's toxic, you have one decision. You already said that it's toxic. So that implies that this family isn't the best for you currently. Doesn't mean forever and always, but it currently means that the space that you're in with your family is not comfortable. You say that you don't have friends. Well, if you don't have friends, that means the solution is
to get
friends. You say that you wish things were better. So that sounds like the solution to that is finding ways to make things better. You say that you smile through everything, but deep down you're tired. That implies that you should acknowledge that you're feeling tired, right? You instead of coming to the surface where you're pretending to be happy, switch it, right? So if 50% of the time you're always tired, but you showcase that you're always happy, technically you're not really allowing yourself to be your true self. So I feel like in this situation, you may have heard this and you may have not heard this, but a lot of the things that you're actually saying are within your control. This, you know, in your situation, you know how you were like it was a lot of things that were out of your control. Getting up every day and working on something is within your control. I always tell people, like, if you're finding that life is boring, make the most mundane things in your life exciting. My exciting is my skincare routine. Like, I've made my skincare routine my place of solace. I've gotten I've gotten a facial steamer. I've gotten makeup remover wipes, but like cotton wipes. I've gotten all skincare products that I think will benefit my skin. I've gotten a roller, like I forgot what they're called, but it's the little thing that you like. You like pass on your face. There's a word for it, but it's not in English. I don't know what it is. A gua sha, something like that. I got a gua sha. And so I commit to myself 30 minutes in the morning to doing that skincare routine. And I finally got it down to my night care routine. But I make the most mundane things in my life exciting, because I came from a place where things were boring, mad boring. We're talking, I used to live with my family, and my family was toxic as hell. Like, I mean, could not stand them, but I woke up every day with a smile on my face, because what else am I going to do? I can't control my family. I can only control my reaction to them.
Another thing I think would help you is make more money. Okay? If you don't have nothing else that you're doing, find a business that you like doing and make more money. I promise you,
find something that'll bring you joy.
Money is going to make you happy. Don't listen to these broke people that keep telling you, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. It sure helps. Trust me.
It's very hostile.
When I am sad and I was like, you know what? Let me go on a cruise. I feel better. Okay? solo trip, they have like group trip stuff or whatever. When you have enough money and you can pay for your own room, you can go on that group trip. I've met a lot of friends on trips that I've gone on.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
so try to make more money. Like start a business. Like I love to craft, and I decided to make that a business.
Yeah, do something. And we're not talking like become the next Elon Musk. We're talking,
but if you can,
by all means. But you don't have to be the next Elon Musk to add additional source of revenue to your pocket.
You can be the next Shirley Dore.
I wanted to be super happy. You know what I did? I started writing people's resumes for $100. Okay? I was like, I need a little extra chunk of change so that I can go out and live my life. And I said, okay, who needs their resume? I'm a professional resume writer. Professional? I wouldn't say that, but I put the word in front of it.
It's that easy.
Language.
I literally make these flyers for my compa class, and people have been asking me who's making these video flyers. I literally put the videos together, and I charge $60.
Just add something in addition to your life so that you can bring joy to your life. No one else is going to make your life less boring. No one else is going to make your family less toxic.
Maybe we should give them like side hustle ideas that might be fun.
Okay, we'll look that up, and that'll be on the next episode.
Oh, okay.
We got y'all. I got y'all
with the craft.
So there's one more advice, and it said, ooh, would you recommend dating or being in a relationship with someone over 10 years older than you?
Absolutely. That's the one.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Sprinkle.
I'm going to tell you right now, the 40-year-olds I heard, I'm not going to say I heard, I know. The 40-year-olds I heard are, yeah.
You know what? I was just thinking, I was like, where would 40-year-olds be? But I was thinking about the summit that y'all got. I was like, maybe the 40-year-olds.
40-year-olds are going to be at summits. They're going to be at cigar lounges. They're going to be at hotel rooftop lounges. Mainly cigar lounges. They're going to be at country clubs. They're going to be golfing.
Okay, so those are where I need to go because I do
real estate mixers. Unfortunately, I know.
Wow.
I know, but they're the ones that are flipping the houses.
Okay. That's
okay.
Fine. But definitely, I would highly suggest it. Sprinkle. Okay. Especially if they just, I'm waiting for somebody to get divorced. I want a divorcee.
A divorcee because they're looking for fun. They want to do cocaine in the back of a Ferrari.
Whoa. That was not my idea of divorce.
Let me give myself a high five
for these cocaine
for continuity. Let me give myself a high five for continuity. Okay. That was good. You got to admit it.
What is the thing?
Callback?
No,
great callback.
The Law and Order.
SVU.
Yeah, these are their stories.
And these are their stories. I think I would be one of those.
Yeah,
stories.
She wants to carry cocaine. The divorcees with cocaine.
Yes. Have you guys watched that one show on Netflix? It's Sex Life, I think it's called, where the guy, he's getting a divorce and he gets he doesn't get a Ferrari, he gets some fast car.
Oh yeah, and they start snoring up a
storm, and then he gets into a car accident. Adventure.
Nah.
That's what they looking for.
Absolutely not.
Listen, if we've helped you out, please don't be afraid to leave us a review.
Yes. And if you have any more questions or anything like that on our confessional booth, just be on the lookout and leave your comments or questions or advice or confessions in there for us so we can sprinkle it into the episodes.
Sprinkle. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and follow us on social media.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Thank you for listening. New episodes of This Is Not That Pod drops every Tuesday on all podcast platforms and Thursdays on YouTube. So keep up with us by pressing that follow button.
We want to hear how much you're feeling us. So if you love the show, leave us a review. Be sure to read our show notes and tap around or click around to support our sponsors.